Hello, and welcome back to another Quickie review. So, The Last of Us has still kept going, and it's time to talk about Episode 3, what is so far considered to be by many one of the very best written episodes ever made for a TV show. And my thoughts? Well, yeah, let's face it, if it's not at that level, it's definitely somewhere up there. And just to be clear on what refrains me from considering it a perfect episode, I'll start by quickly mentioning the issue, which is mostly tied down to the logistics of this new character, Bill, and his environment, and him being able to keep this entire town running for 20 plus years in the apocalypse, with even stuff like electricity still going on. Again, as I mentioned in the previous videos, in this TV version, everything went to hell starting in 2003, so any form of technology this time is locked up to that period. So even stuff like solar panels and such couldn't have really been available at that time. Yes, he uses separate motors to keep it all going, but correct me if I'm wrong, don't those need, gas to run? Gas that I'm pretty sure after 20 plus years will definitely run out, especially if he's using it also for his trucks. So yeah, while I can get stuff like growing his own food and such, a lot of this electricity-based stuff to me doesn't, exactly make sense. But that is where all my critiques fully stop. The rest, well, it's gained its reputation for a very good reason. Last time I mentioned how I was hoping every episode was going to start with a flashback into the past, and while it didn't technically start like that, I got more than what I asked for by having technically the entire episode, or at least, most of it, set in the past. We follow Bill, played in a still way by Nick Offerman, who's this paranoid redneck who bunkers up completely under his own house when the cordyceps infection happens, and has managed to convert his entire town into basically this post-apocalyptic fortress, living in solitude all this time, and frankly enjoying the peace and quiet. And not gonna lie, despite my previous critique, the dude is pretty damn efficient too. Everything changes when a stranger named Frank, also played excellently by Murray Bartlett, stumbles upon his home. Bill reluctantly invites him over to his house for one meal cause he's starving. Frank is very forward, he plays the piano, Bill plays it better, and they bang. As you do. And thus, Bill and Frank from there on spend several years together in this town that's completely theirs for the taking, and since they're a couple, every now and then they have arguments. And one of the twists is that Frank actually gets in contact with someone, and it ends up being both Joel and Tess, years before the events we've been following in the previous episodes, and they all create this trusting bond with people in the outside world for the first time. And not gonna lie, seeing the literal fruits of this new trust, with Bill and Frank eating the strawberries they could seed thanks to bargaining with Joel and Tess, yeah, let's face it guys, it's a pretty heartwarming scene to say the least. And the episode then honestly just continues. We keep skipping several years. At one point, Bill is shot by some strangers who in turn are literally roasted, and we skip yet again years later when they're old dudes with Frank in a wheelchair and... I mean, I know it's for, different reasons, but am I the only one who thought their places should have been switched considering how the editing is presenting this? Like, how did Bill heal from a gun wound when, even if there is medicine around, it's more than likely expired medicine? Alright, fine, just one more narrative/editing flaw. Fine, whatever. But then, we get the big reveal. After having spent nearly 2 decades together, Frank has been in this wheelchair for so long with his ailments that he decided he just wants to end it. There's this very touching scene where the two talk it over, with Bill heartbroken and clearly being afraid of being left alone and just... Man, it's so incredibly touching. And yet, still not even remotely as touching as the end, with not only Bill and Frank spending their last day together doing everything Frank wanted, even getting married, and have one last delicious dinner before drinking some wine filled with medicine to kill him, it then turns out Bill secretly did the same thing to his own drink. He couldn't stand the idea of being left alone anymore because he now understands it was much more worthwhile living with someone than just surviving alone. Even Frank, while disapproving, couldn't deny the wonderful, touching gesture, and we just see them walk away. The end of the episode is back with Joel and Ellie, who came back here looking for Bill's help, found his goodbye letter with a touching remark about Jess since Bill couldn't have known what happened in the meantime, and the two understand, get their supplies, and drive off. The last shot is the car driving away, and we pull back from Bill and Frank's bedroom window without ever showing the bodies, so we can just keep the image of their happy lives in our minds. Guys, what more can I say that hasn't been said already? I heard that apparently in the game, Bill had a much bigger role, that technically he should have been alive to help Joel and Ellie a bit, and he shouldn't have died so soon, and none of this whole backstory was ever present in the game. But yeah, this is one of the best examples when it comes to changing an adaptation. If it has to be done, it better be done exclusively to replace it with something better. And while, again, I haven't played the games, as of now, I can't think of how Bill living a bit longer still could have been anywhere as heartbreaking or heartwarming as it was in this episode. This is the rule every writer should keep in mind when adapting something, to make sure you elevate it only as high a quality in writing as you can. When it comes to these characters, they've been handled almost perfectly. And it's far more believable that the events happened like this. It's kind of baffling how these writers, with this one episode, have cemented themselves in my mind as incredibly talented by creating one of the best TV episodes in recent memory as a mere side quest to the main plot. Just wow. As far as I'm concerned, all the praises, all the love, all the appreciation is more than fully deserved, and I dearly hope the rest of the show, or at least the season, keeps the quality up, because it would be an incredible shame to have a terrible ending tarnish what was otherwise a gem in writing. So keep it up, guys. You're so far more than earning your place in Hollywood, and if all goes well, I sincerely hope you end up steering Hollywood in the right direction once again as well. Anyway, go and judge for yourself. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join my Patreon to help support what I do here, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care all. Bye.